to the Death Ray Cat channel. This one's going to be a special lesson for people wanting to learn how to play their own rockabilly solos. There's loads of videos out there with licks and stuff, but this one I want to show you how to take some of those ideas, mix them around a bit and really make them your own thing. We're going to take 4 licks and we're going to use a double stop method, and you're going to be able to jumble them around, make them your own, add your own flavour to them and write your own solos. I'm going to have tabs for all of these in my Patreon, links for that will be below. I'm also going to have 3 different backing tracks. This lesson we're going to be in the key of A. Backing tracks will be on YouTube, but if you want to download them they'll also be in my Patreon. I'm also running a promotion with Slackjaw. If you're a viewer of this channel you're going to get 15% off from Slackjaw. They make some cool stuff. Go check them out. The promo code is down in the description below. We're going to be playing over a 12-bar blues. So what's a 12-bar blues? It's fairly simple. There's some variations, but today we're going to be going with A, 3, 4, up to D, 6, 7, back to A, E, back to A. They're the 12 bars we're going to be playing over. Now with these licks, some of them you can just keep in one position. So for example the first 2 I think are going to work in the first position. The later ones we're going to move around with the chords, but we'll go into that more as we go along. Let's start with the easiest one, and we're looking at double stop. So what's a double stop? If you take your finger, place it across 2 strings, I'm playing on the top E and the B strings here on the 5th frets. With my first finger I'm playing on the 5th frets, and I'm using my middle and ring finger here for a little bit of pop and snap. You don't have to do that, you can just pick however you want to do it. But that's a double stop, we're just playing 2 notes at once. That's a double stop. Now our first lick, we're going to start. You've probably heard this in rockabilly a lot. It's very used, it's like a staple, and it just sounds really cool, and you don't have to think too much about it. You can mess around with where you're putting it. So this little shape here, I've got my ring finger on the 7th fret on the B string, and my little finger is on the 8th fret of the E string. So you got this little sound here. If you bend it a little bit, it sounds really cool. So you can experiment with that. You could really just play over an entire backing track with just that shape. It sounds cool. There's songs where that is the lead part. So you don't need to do loads of fancy stuff to play lead, you just need to find the cool sounds. And there's one of them. Okay, so that's going to work over the key of A. For the first lick that I'm going to show you, we're going to start off with that, and we're going to return to that double stop on the 5th frets there. So we're picking 2 strings at a time. I'm going with that middle finger, ring finger thing. Or you can pick. So we're bending the first one with the ring and little finger, but we're not bending that second one there. That's like home bass. That's like a mini E5 chord. But all you need to know, that's kind of like you return to that. You could play an entire solo just picking that as well. But what we're going to do, we're going to bounce between those 2. But the cool thing with this is you can totally make your own thing up. So it's almost like you want to imagine you're speaking. You want to make that guitar speak. and you can change how much you're bending those notes up there. You can not bend at all. You can bend a little bit, or you can bend a bit more. And you can mess around with the rhythm there. So stick the backing track on, have a play back and forth with that. So if we're in A, we're starting, there's an A there on your 5th fret, so you want to be on your 5th frets there. If we're playing in D, you'd find where the D was. We've got a D on the 10th fret here. That works up there. And what was the other key? E. 12th fret. There's your E. You can also play it down here with the open strings and the 3 and 4th frets, 3rd and 4th frets. But for this backing track, for this lesson, we're going to stay in A. So, like I say, you can play that throughout the whole 12-bar blues and it's going to sound cool. If you want to change it around a little bit, you can move with the chords. So 12-bar blues, what have we got? We've got an A. When the progression moves to a D, we can go up and find the D here, 10th fret. So when those chords behind are playing D, play in this area here. Go back to A. Then we go to the E. Back to A. There you go, there's your first lick. I would start with that, have it go on the backing track, see how you feel. Yeah, you can make it your own with the timing. You can hold it for longer, do what you want with it, make it your own. The next lick we're going to look at. Now, just to give it a bit of theory, we're kind of using the notes in a major scale here, or major pentatonic. A little hammer on there is giving it the major sound. Okay, so here's the little lick that I've written. Again, most of these notes here are double stops, so what have we got? We've got the 5th frets on the E and the B string, and I'm pulling those. Then I'm going to do a double stop on the 7th frets of the B and the G string. I'm using my ring finger as a little bar. Then I'm going to do another bar on the 5th frets of the B and G strings. But what I'm doing here is I'm going to add my middle finger and hammer on to the 6th fret of the G string. So we've got that little trick there. We're getting a little bit more advanced here. So, and then I'm going to end it with my ring finger on the 7th fret of the D string. You can do a single note there. The way I'm playing this is I'm picking them all with my fingers, middle and ring there, and then I'm going in with the pick or the thumb for that last note. That is an A there, so we're kind of resolving it again. Like I said before, we've got home up there, we've got another one here. Now, okay, for this lick I've written it so it goes in that rhythm. We can keep it, I think this one works if you keep it throughout the progression. But yeah, again, if you want to change it up, you can move with those chords. So we've got with the 12 bar in A. We start on the A. Move up to the D. Back to A. Up to E on the 12th fret. Back to A. So you can see the patterns here. We've got a trick and we've learnt it, and then we know that if we move it with the chords, we're just moving that pattern, and it's like a cool little hack, if you like. Now with this, you can do loads of stuff with this. We can kind of go back up the way we came. So we go down, and then you can come back up. So the same notes, but and then you can go down and up a bit and back and forth with it. So it's like a little mini scale to play around with there. Again, like, you want to just be making it your own, like have a little, make it say things, do a little sentence. So like with this sentence you have a full stop at the end. I would see those root notes as a full stop, so you're landing on the root, it sounds like it's resolving. That sounds good. Mess around with the rhythms. So you got a starting point there to practice, but again, you can play around with it. The next riff I've got, it could be easier or harder depending on what kind of stuff you find difficult, but this is like a mini double stop scale. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can do a finger per fret. So we've got the 5th frets on the E and B string, then I'm going to go up to the 7th frets, I'm using my ring finger. Then I'm using the 8th frets, using my little finger, and back down to 7th frets and then 5th frets. So this in itself is a little lick. By the way, sometimes if your little finger's not playing ball, you can use your ring finger, so you could go. That's also acceptable. So that little trick there on the top 2 strings, you can do the exact same thing on the B and the G. So you've added 3 notes to your little scale there. You've got, and then you can end again on that root on the 7th fret on the D string. Sometimes I'll do a double stop there as well. If you're going fast, it sounds kind of cool. So how do you want to pick it? You can do your fingers again. Or you can use your pick. Whatever you want to do that gets your fingers moving, it's all good. Now, so yeah, you can go down, you can go up, and the fun part is going down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. So like down a bit, up a bit, down a bit, up. See what I mean? If you're playing that over the backing track, it's going to sound cool. Now that will probably work over the entire thing, But again, if you wanted to move with the chords, we could start in A and then move up to the D. So starting on the 10th frets again. Back to A. Up to the E. Back to A. By the way, if you bend that 5th fret on the G, it's a similar effect as that hammer on there. It's a nice little sound to use. Okay, so yeah, try that with the backing track. Hey Ivy. Oh, is it so? Sorry, she was having a little nap, and we've ruined that. I've just got to show them one more lick. Is that okay? Okay, Nugget. Now this one's probably the hardest. It's like a chicken picking sort of vibe. Let me pop you down. Oh, here she is. This is the reason why we're doing this. We got to get Ivy her cat food. So yeah, thanks for watching, by the way. Okay, here's the last trick. Here's the last trick. It's probably the most difficult. It's like a chicken picking style thing. We kind of do need to use this chicken picking style, so I'm using my pick with my first finger and thumb, and my middle finger and ring finger are doing the top strings, whereas pick is hitting that D string when I need it. So I'm going to play this slowly first. So I'm picking twice on the 7th frets there of the B and G strings. Then I'm doing a pull off here with the ring finger, and your first finger is making a bar on the 5th frets on your G and B strings. After that, I'm going down to the D string on the 7th fret. And then I'm doing that little hammer-on trick. So on the 5th fret, my first finger's down barring, and my second finger is hammering on from the 5th frets. And I'm just hitting the 6th fret on the G string there. And then I'm going to do another D string on the 7th fret there. So I'll play it real slow. This is quite an advanced technique, so don't worry if you're not getting it. Maybe try real slow. And when you're pulling off, you're kind of wanting to let those other 2 strings ring out. And then we're just going to build that up. When you're doing that second D string hit, you kind of want your ring finger to be ready to do that double stop. It's real tricky actually. And then there you go. So that works in A. We're going to do it on the 5th fret there. Again, if we're playing it in D, we'd move everything up to the 10th and 12th frets. back to A, then up to the 12th and 14th frets, there you go. So that moves around anywhere you want it. If you're playing in D, it'll work there as well. So, okay, we've got 4 ideas there, 4 double stop ideas. So I would practice all those individually in whatever key you wanted to go for. We've been looking at A. Like I say, I've got backing tracks for D and E as well. Yeah, I would practice using each one first, and eventually what you can do is stick them all together and write a solo. So like, say you wanted to mix the first 2 up, you've got, and you've got. So you could start off simply like that, just going in between the 2. You've also got your double stop scale one, that sort of thing. But yeah, I've done an example of how I've made a solo using all 4 techniques. I'm also using a bit of major and minor pentatonic and a bit of the blues scale as well. So if you know those, you can use those to kind of go in between those tricks. Most of those tricks are using either major or minor pentatonic ideas with some little bits of flavour on there as well. So there you go, that's 4 ideas. Hope that's useful. I'm going to upload those backing tracks to YouTube. I'm going to have them to download on my Patreon. I'm going to have all the tabs for all these licks in my Patreon as well. Big thanks to Ben Bowers for doing the drums. Thank you. So if you're after some drum bits, go see Ben. He'll sort you out. If you like this video and you want to support me, go check out the Patreon. I've also got t-shirts for sale with my band X-Ray Cat Trio. So I post most weeks and I go live most Sundays. Thanks for watching the Death Ray Cat channel. I'll see you later.